Hi folks, it's Coach Kelvin from the We Run Virtual Run Club and We Run Coach for Leeds and surrounding areas as well as online coaching. In this little video, I'm going to go through some things that ideally we need to do after a run. Because what we've got to remember is when we actually do a workout, so a run, we actually get weaker, we break down our muscles, and the quicker we can start to repair those muscles, the better. So a few things to bear in mind. The first one is make sure that we're having a good warm down whilst we're actually running. So that means at least like the last kilometre, take it super easy. And maybe even the last kind of like 300 or 400 meters, just walk it. What we're trying to do is bring the heart rate really gradually down over that period of time. The other thing is to replace about 150% of the water, the fluid that you've lost through sweating. It's likely that people lose somewhere between sort of 400 to 600 milliliters of fluid. So we really want to be bringing in, absolute minimum of like 500 to 750 mils of water, and maybe drink that within the course of an hour after you run. And you might want to add some electrolytes to that, just to help that absorption. And we're mainly talking about sodium there, so it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can just maybe squeeze some oranges into some water, and a little bit of salt in there works really well. The other thing to mention, that if it was a workout, so you actually add some intensity into the run, within the sort of hour after finishing, it's a good idea to add some easily digestible carbohydrate and some protein. And an ideal standard kind of go-to is something like chocolate milk. And it's the carbohydrate that's the most important here. Protein, you may as well get it in anyway, because you want like protein to be sort of evenly distributed throughout the day in sort of 30 to 40 gram portions, whereas carbohydrate, after a workout, when you've depleted muscle glycogen, the receptors for the glycogen are sensitive and ready to take on board more sugar, ready for your next workout, and also to help recovery. If it was a longer run of more than sort of, let's say, around that sort of 2 to 3 hour mark with some intensity, so the example there would be like a marathon workout, so maybe a 3 hour run that actually has some marathon pace segments in there. Do the same as the last comment, so easily absorbable carbohydrate plus protein within an hour after finishing your run, and then do the same again about 2 hours later. Just to make sure that we're fully topping those glycogen supplies up as much as possible. The next thing is, this is a really important one for me, is to do something that chills you out. Whatever that might be, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get that parasympathetic nervous system engagement, which is that sort of rest and digest, which is when the body goes from that catabolic state of breaking muscle down when you're exercising to that anabolic state of building muscle back up stronger. And the quicker we can do that, the better. So this is when I say to people about stretching, is only stretch after exercise if you really like doing it. If you really enjoy doing it, and it chills you out, you can do some stretches. But I would recommend to keep them extremely light and only hold them for between 5 and 8 seconds. Because what we've got to remember is when we do a workout, we cause little micro tears, so we cause damage to the muscles. And then what we don't really want to do is then try to sort of pull those muscles apart, those muscle fibers apart with stretching. And the neurological system actually stops us doing that. So if we feel tight after a workout, it's maybe a feeling of soreness from muscle damage from the micro tears, but also the central nervous system will actually stop you going anywhere near end range to help protect the muscles. So stretching straight after exercise can actually cause stress to the nervous system, and we actually don't need to do it. So only stretch if it's something that you really like doing. But if there's other things that you like doing better than stretching, like sitting with your feet up, reading a book, sitting with your feet up with a cup of tea or a glass of wine, if you don't really like stretching, that would be more beneficial to help that body switch into that kind of parasympathetic nervous system activation and start to build your muscles back up stronger. So I hope that made some sort of sense, and if you have any comments, please just pop them below. And for now, happy running!